This is Gigi Sabat, and you're listening to the Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Lauren, and she's a celebrity life coach. Welcome to the show, Lauren.
Thanks for having me.
Such an honor to have you here today. Now, why don't you start off by telling us more about you and where are you from, Lauren?
Well, I am originally a New Yorker, and I left New York 2 years ago, almost three years ago, I think. And that answers that question.
I love it. What inspired you to launch your company, Lauren?
Wow, that's a good question. When I was around 28, 29 years old, I am now 54. I basically went out on my own and wanted to see if I could help people follow their dreams, right? So I had a strong opinion that no one was really pursuing what they wish they were pursuing in their lives. And I actually was one of the earliest life coaches I've ever met, right? Like no one, I was made fun of for calling myself a life coach. And now it's like a real career choice in universities. So I was doing that in 1998, 1997 even.
Very good.
And so I wanted to see what, and then I went out actually on my own first for the first 5 years. And then I wanted to see if I could, after I did it for the first 5 years and had a huge booming practice, I then wanted to see if I could turn what I understood into a methodology. And then I had my real dream of the Handel group and then started building that in 2004 or 5, right then.
Excellent. And recently you went through a divorce. Tell us a little bit more about your experience and what is life on the other side?
Wow. Did I need my method? Let's just start with that. I think everyone has their COVID story. So I think I fall into the COVID story land of like, wow, everything changed when slow-mo happened and we all got stuck at home, right? And so during that season, my husband and I, who've been together for we were married 22 years, but together for about 25. Really were not, it wasn't that we weren't getting along, it was that it was incredibly boring. And it was obvious. And my husband was unhappy. I was a happy little workaholic. So I wasn't noticed, and a mother. And so I wasn't I didn't know he was so not that happy at the time. And then I wasn't really even asking myself if I was happy. I just kept my promises according to my method and was being a good person. And so basically, when I discovered that my husband really wasn't in love with me anymore, the rule that I kept was that if you weren't in love with me, we wouldn't stay together unless you wanted to, right? Neither one of us would stay unless you wanted to. And then he really didn't want to, which was like the bottom dropped out of my life, right? Because that was the foundation. And then starting in 2021, I basically started crying. Like I started crying in 2021 and had to redesign my whole life and ask myself all the hard questions of, am I happy, and what are my dreams now that I know that this is not turning out? And he was my foundation. Ooh, I can't hear you.
We seem to have had a technical glitch.
Ooh.
That's okay, that happens. It's real life.
Okay.
So I was asking you in regards to an individual who may be experiencing something very similar. What message do you have for that individual?
It's never too late to have everything you want, and like bottom is the start, right? Like, so it's interesting. In my method, I'll teach you to, invent a dream in an area of your life and then get your life up to an 8 or 9, according to you, of what an 8 or 9 would be in that area, whether it's your love life or your body or your faith or whatever you're into, what area in that dream, where are you at? And then when you achieve that dream, like you're literally a 9, I'll tell you to take that 9 and make it a 0 and start to dream again. Like, you don't get to like just hang out anywhere, and you get to keep dreaming new dreams, because that's the fun of being alive. And so basically, if you're at a 0, which is what happened, my love life went to 0. I had to, one, heal from it, like forgive everything that had happened, and wait till I had a new dream, and then dream that dream, and then start to chase my dream. So my answer is, you're never too old to dream. And as someone who's now in living my new life and in love, found love again, built a new place, where new friendships, a whole new life, I would just say, never give up, ever.
That's right. Never give up. So would you say that you're still healing from the divorce?
No, I would say I fell in love. It's like, so I really went through everything I needed to go through with my ex. We are friends. We did not have some ugly divorce at all. And we're good with my kids and everyone. Like, I really made sure that I had a beautiful divorce. And I really waited till my love light came back on, right? Like, I knew I believe in love. My line was, I thought my husband was my soulmate. Turns out he was my baby daddy. How do I know? Because you never know until your last blink, right? Like, but until then, I will be fighting for love and believing in love. So I am keep going, and love is what it's all about. And having love, whatever you want, whatever area of your life, you should have it. And I don't care what your age is or where you are in your life. You should have what you want, and you should have your dreams.
Very true. How many children do you have, Lauren?
I have 3.
You have 3. Tell us a little bit
3.
more about your experience as a mother. Tell us more about motherhood.
Well, so I love being a mother. I am obsessed with my children. I did not raise my kids like most people do. I care way more about no lying than I cared about telling them what to do. So I had one daughter, my oldest, who I didn't manage. If she smoked pot, I didn't manage her boyfriends. I didn't manage what she did and didn't do with any of the kids. I'd rather know and make sure you're safe and not lie. And so one kid they're all doing great. Just everyone, I'll cut to the chase. Everyone's healthy and well. My oldest daughter did not go to college and became a chef and is running a kitchen in a jazz club. And, spoke to her this morning, and she could not be more proud of what she does. And then my son is at St. Andrews University. So he lives in Scotland. So my kids and my youngest, they're just thriving. And they're real individuals, and they're all really different. And I just rather know the truth about who they want to be.
Very good.
And like that.
Very good. Speaking of the word thriving, what does thriving truly mean to you? What does someone who's thriving look like to you?
Thriving means that you are proud of yourself, and that you take the actions that you want to be taking, and that you're proud that you're taking those actions in whatever dreams you're living into. And so if you're living into that dream and you're taking those actions and you're proud of yourself, you're thriving.
Very good. Lauren, what message do you have for an individual who's facing a challenge today?
Pray, dream. So when I think about the dream, I think it's your vision, which is your prayer for your life. And that you need to have the faith and the belief that if you have that vision and that dream, it's meant to be. Like, that's your spiritual relationship to your own dream. And I do think dreams are spiritual phenomena. Like, your vision for yourself is a spiritual relationship with yourself to cause that in your life, so you feel fulfilled on your life. And so basically I help people dream, which is fulfill on themselves.
I love it. Dream. Very powerful statement. Now, Lauren, what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
Love everything no matter what. Love is like, look out, like everyone can love a puppy, right? You can love a puppy, you can love a tree, you can love a cupcake. The game of life would truly be to figure out how to love no matter what, everything, right? Even the stuff you don't love. You need to figure out how to be neutral about it.
Exactly. Love everything, no matter what. Very powerful. Now, Lauren, do you have any last words for the audience?
The most important thing you need to know how to do is hear your negative inner dialogue, that the voice in your head. I teach people that you have a lower self, you have a highest lower self, which is really your lower self. But I actually make a joke and say your highest lower self is your God stick, how you're constantly yelling at yourself for not being good enough. Neither one of those is your higher self. And your higher self is what you say to the voices in your head that are telling you basically fears and loathings, right? Or any of that drama. And to always ask your higher self to talk, which is your relationship to God.
I love it. And lastly, tell us a little bit more about your relationship with God.
I I make sure I pray to the phenomena of being alive and everything that is everything that is everything that I can't even comprehend. And that I do believe that beliefs create reality. And I believe that that's God, like playing God. And I love teaching myself to believe. So whatever you're believing in, you're causing, which is why you need to know that inner dialogue, because that's what you're headed to believe.
Bullseye. Great point, Lauren. And thank you so much for being a guest on the Walk With Me podcast. I appreciate you. Lauren, where can the audience find you?
I'm Lauren Handel Zander, so you can find me on Instagram. But Inner.U.coach is where to find my programs and to find the Handel group.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Lauren on her IG. That's her Instagram, yes. And also her website. That's Inner.U.coach, INNERU.coach. And Lauren, again, thank you so much for being a guest on the Walk With Me podcast. God bless you.
God bless you.